make a video for a while on wealth accumulation, and it's not a real popular topic because it brushes against remuneration. So I'd like to break down my personal thoughts on the matter. I've already talked about white fragility on this channel and some things about racism, and so here's the next installment on that. I'm not an expert on this. I'm a white woman of privilege, cisgender. I don't have all the answers, but I do have some things to say, perhaps with the hope of helping even just one person understand a little bit. Let's say family A purchases a home in a neighborhood, and they, after a little bit of time, the neighborhood just doesn't really take off. It begins to decline. People become unable, for whatever reasons, to not care for their house in the way that they used to. One example would be the flight of American jobs that have gone overseas, that have made some ghost towns out of places that used to be very thriving. A person who owns property in that area does not have the same resources as family B. Family B purchases a home in a neighborhood, and this neighborhood increases in value. These kids that grow up in the neighborhood have the opportunity to play outside in the sun and potentially fall in love with the kid next door, whose parents also own a home, whose value is increasing. This family will get lower interest rates on their credit cards. They can take money out of the home and use it for improvements. They may also be able to help their children go to college. And at some point in the future, they're going to be able to pass wealth on to their children. So let me give you another example on how this wealth accumulation goes. So we have a family who purchased a house on Teton Street, Huntsville, Alabama. And when more black people started moving in, they sold the house. And my family, and we bought a house on Locust Avenue. See, Teton Street, Locust Avenue. Eventually, the Locust Avenue house was sold. And with the money gained from that, they were able to buy a house with acreage. Now, someday in the long, far distant future, they will be passing along wealth to their children that they've accumulated through these houses, owning these houses. So when we talk about reparations and people get all upset about that, they're not taking into consideration how there are so many inequities. Now, like I said, I don't have all the answers, but I do think we need to talk about this. And I want to just bring to your attention that we're making some really good moves. I really like the direction that we're going into. Student loans are being forgiven. What that means for a lot of people is that they will then be able to purchase a home at a much faster rate, years ahead, than they would have if they have all these student loans. So the student loan forgiveness is going to be good for all of us. Another thing that's happening is that more folks can get to college because there's more and more community colleges that are making their tuition free. And so folks are going to get those first 2 years of college for just the cost of books. Now we're going to have a more educated society. We're going to have people that have less student loans. And then they're going to be able to join ranks and make better money. Speaking of money, having the minimum wage increased. Well, that's very important because as it stands now, there are quite a few privately held companies that are benefiting from these low wages. They're paying the minimum that they must and offering the minimum amount of hours for people that have fewer choices about the work that they're able to do. And these privately held companies, are making billions of dollars on the backs of folks with fewer choices. And I don't think that's fair. Protecting union jobs, bringing the unions back, supporting them. These are all things that will be increasing for everyone. It's good for everyone to have a home to live in, food to eat, a job. We all agree on that. What we disagree on is the how. I bring these points to you to consider and maybe start a dialogue with someone.